Hey everyone, welcome to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones Cooper, and today I'm sitting down with Elizabeth Perkins. She's here to talk about the new Apple TV Plus drama, Truth Be Told, which follows a podcaster who revisits the murder case that built her career. Perkins plays Melanie Cave, the mother of a man accused of murder who never gives up on his innocence. Take a look.
I am for truth, no matter who tells it. I'm for justice, no matter who it's for or against. 18 years, 10 months, 24 days. That's how long Warren Cave has sat in prison for the murder of Chuck Berman. I helped seal Warren's fate with a series of articles. But is there an innocent man in prison? And did I lead that charge?
Always standing on a ledge atop the land.
You portrayed me as a privileged psychopath. And now I live in a house full of men who breathe to lie. And I could smell yours before you even started talking.
How could a mother and two daughters sleep through such a violent encounter? And they never recovered the murder weapon.
What are you hiding? You leave it, or I can make your life miserable in here.
There is a monster inside every one of us. You terrify me.
What about you?
What's in there?
We're playing with people's lives. Are you ready for the consequences?
You think all the secrets came out during the trial?
You tell Parnell to back away. You messed with her family.
You have no idea what I've done to my daughters.
Families, they take care of each other.
I have to get to the truth of what happened that night.
The people will get their show.
Please help me welcome Elizabeth Perkins.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm dandy. It's a beautiful day. We got snow here.
I know. Don't you love that it didn't stick and that we just had like some flurries and
Beautiful sun was out. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. You know, I actually watched the first episode of Truth Be Told, and I've never been more attracted to the log line of a show. I was like, oh, I'm in. Yeah. So did you have that same reaction when you heard the premise and just like what the series was going to be about?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was sort of sold the minute I heard Octavia Spencer.
Yeah, so, that too.
I mean, she's just a phenomenal talent. And as executive producer on it, she just was a great, fearless leader. Aaron Paul, not bad. We have Lizzie Kaplan, Ron Cephas-Jones, Annabella Sciorra,
and Elizabeth Perkins.
And moi. But I also loved the premise of the show being, yes, it's a murder mystery. Yes, it's about a podcast and getting this man who's been wrongly accused out of jail, where he's been for the last 19 years. But it's mostly a family drama, which a lot of people don't explore what it's like for the families of the victims or for people who are wrongly accused or whenever a murder is sensationalized. And so what I love about what Nichelle Trample-Spellman, our creator, did was really make this more about the people versus about the crime.
Yeah, just the drama of the crime, which is what is entertainment for us now, which is so, this show really makes you look at.
Right.
It's like, why do we have 48 Hours?
Why are we so
all
fascinated
these shows
with,
that we're
yes.
fascinated, and these are real people.
Mm-hmm. And there are real-time consequences for, shows like Making of a Murderer. You don't really discuss, well, what's the family of the victim who's found in the car? It doesn't explore that at all. So I love that this show touches on that.
Yeah. And it's based off of a book, right? Called Are You Sleeping?
Are You Sleeping?
By Kathleen
Yes,
Barber.
Kathleen Barber.
So did you use that as a tool to prep, or I know it's very different, so.
It's very, very different from the book. But yes, particularly Octavia's character is straight out of the book.
Yeah. And your character, Melanie, is the mother.
Poor Melanie,
Yeah, is the
yeah.
mother of the man accused of murder, and you really are the heart in so many ways because it's hard not to immediately put yourself in her shoes.
Right, and she's, I couldn't, I mean, I have 4 children, and I couldn't imagine any one of them being sent to prison for something they didn't do, and how that becomes your life. I mean, how do you get up in the morning and say, oh, I'm going to go have lunch with a friend, or I'm going to go to work, or I'm going to just get on with my life? She just sort of freezes in time.
What can you tell us about her, maybe research you did or just things you did to influence who she is and the grief she has over her son being incarcerated?
Well, she's also very ill. She has stage 4 cancer, and I lost my friend, my best friend at 42 to that exact cancer. So I know how prevalent it is and how difficult it was for Melanie to just sort of get up in the morning and still be pursuing this case nonstop. And I think just as a mother, I don't know what else I would do other than pursue this case nonstop. Because like I said, you can't, what else would you do with your life?
Yeah, there's this moment where Poppy's like, well, don't be that mom, you know?
Right.
But how are you not that
How
mom,
you're not that mom.
right? You have to believe that your child
know-
didn't do this heinous thing.
And it's like when people disappear, you know, you hear about these stories of, you know, a loved one disappears. How do you just go on with your life? You really, and for Melanie, she's frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, her son is gone, but he's not dead. He's just stuck in prison.
Yeah. So with Melanie, obviously no spoilers, but what kind of journey do we see her go on? I mean, in the first episode, it's all kind of laid out,
Right.
but I would imagine it gets way more complicated.
Well, I don't think she has a lot of trust, and she definitely doesn't trust Poppy at the beginning because Poppy was pretty responsible for originally sending her son to jail, and that it's Poppy's sort of epiphany that maybe she wasn't right about this story. So right off the bat, she's very skeptical about letting this woman back into her life, but she really, at this point, doesn't have any other choice.
See, I found myself very skeptical of a lot of the characters, which is what I thought was so fascinating. It doesn't seem like there's necessarily like a clear good guy, bad guy.
There's
With
definitely
Poppy,
not.
Yeah, with Poppy in particular, it seems like a really chivalrous thing she's doing, but do you think she should be trusted, or is it a selfish motivation?
Well, I think she starts out as a very selfish person. And the evolution of Poppy is also sort of foreshadowed with her relationship with her husband, her relationship with her father, with her sisters. You know, it really becomes her sort of come to Jesus moment of, wait, what am I doing? Why am I participating in this sensationalism? You know, and it's interesting to watch her character make those transitions.
It is, and I love that she's a podcaster because did you listen to Serial, the podcast?
I
at all?
hadn't
Okay.
until I got cast in this show.
Really?
Yeah.
You
I
missed
had
that
seen
whole-
Making a Murderer, which I, of course, was like completely fascinated with.
Still not over that.
And I then listening to Serial, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But what I love about this show is that we explored what that means for the people who, you know, that these crimes have changed their lives forever.
You don't think about a cold case or a case that's been solved 20 years prior,
Right.
and then every 5 or 10 years it's brought up again in a podcast or
Right.
48 hours,
Right.
and the family has to relive it.
Oh, completely.
Over and over.
And that this involves, you know, people who were very young at the time that the murder happened. Or they were in their teenagers. They were teenagers, and now they're sort of closer to 30s, and you know they've been living this for the last 19 years.
I always get caught up in these shows because I'm super bad at solving crimes. Are you? I'm so bad. Are
No,
you good? Like I
I'd
never
never
know who
figure it
did
out.
it.
No,
Like it'll be the
no.
last episode, and I'll be like, "What?"
Right, and I do think that it's very suspenseful. Our show, when you know, there's a couple of red herrings for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
So, are you a big fan of this sort of genre? Because I saw you in Sharp Objects. And
Yes.
it's kind of like a murder mystery.
It is, yes.
It's been exciting, kind of digging into these like darker.
Oh, completely. You know, with Melanie, it was definitely something I had to shake off at the end of the day because she's really in a dark place. she's very ill. She doesn't think her son's going to get out in time for her. And she's sort of at the end of a rope. And it was definitely something that I had to shake off.
What was it like working with Aaron Paul? Because his character is has been incarcerated for 19 years.
Right.
He's now a white nationalist.
He is a white nationalist, yes.
And he's a very, fascinating to watch this man on screen. So what was it like in scenes with him and that intensity?
Well, it's Aaron Paul. Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. Yeah. He also happens to be one of the nicest actors I've ever worked with.
We had him here, and
he's just like
court. Yeah.
Oh, he's amazing, and he's affectionate, and he's kind. So to sort of see him covered in tattoos, and some of them are swastikas and white nationalist symbols. I mean, it was an interesting exploration for Aaron as well, because when he goes to prison, he's 17 years old, and then sort of this evolution happens to him, where he aligns himself with the white nationalists in prison, basically to save his own life. And
it's something you, again, I think a lot of people probably have to do.
And people don't think about that. Like, how do you survive in prison?
It's so sad. I mean, it really does. The show brings up a lot of themes, whether it's the interrogation process or incarceration, or
absolutely.
I mean, just our love of these true crime stories, which I had to really kind of face,
right?
Because I do love them, and
of course, they're amazing. I mean, I'm a big fan of the show Snapped.
Oh yeah,
I know. Like, I can go on a Snapped run for hours. But then when you really think about it, these are real people, and this is really happening in their life. And I love that this show explores that.
Definitely. Where did you guys shoot this?
Los Angeles.
Okay.
It was so nice.
Why was it so nice?
Oh, because we weren't in Georgia, like in August. When we shot Sharp Objects in Georgia, it was just, we were in swamps. It was unbearable. There were chiggers. People were getting eaten. It was bad.
I didn't know you were there in August.
We were there in August.
What did you do to survive that?
We drank a lot of beer, and we were sort of staying at a Holiday Inn. It was, we all bonded, let's put it that way. Yeah.
So it's nice to be in LA. And also, this
great.
is one of the first shows to roll out with Apple TV Plus.
Yes.
So what has that whole experience been like? Because I feel like everything is so bold and grand with this platform.
Well, I'm thrilled because Apple TV, I mean, it sort of doesn't get any better than that in terms of the way the platform is functioning, the way they're rolling it out. It's all been top-notch, real top-notch. And it's nice to be in their first season.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
It is a great show. I have a lot more questions, but I don't want to spoil it. Because
there's a lot of spoilers.
There's a lot of things I could ask that would really give a lot of away, so I'll leave it. And we'll move on to some lighter entertainment. You're also going to be starring in a show called Moody's.
Yes, and it's coming out tomorrow, and it's like a complete 180 from Truth Be Told. This is like Christmas time.
Yeah.
And it's got Denis Leary and Jay Baruchel and Francois Arnaud and Chelsea Fry and me.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. And we're airing on Fox. And
the premise is...
well, the Moody's are a very tight-knit but dysfunctional family living on the south side of Chicago.
Fair.
Whose kids come home for Christmas. They're empty nesters except for one who won't leave, Jay Baruchel. He still lives at home, even though he's like 34. And what I love about this show is that it's set at Christmas time, but it's not, sappy and sentimental and like everybody gets along and, oh, it's Christmas and everything's perfect and the house is beautiful and the lights work and everything. This is what, personally for me, is more what Christmas is really like, which is, you've got annoying extended family, that uncle who just won't stop talking. And I think for where we sort of are as a country right now, there's going to be a little bit of tension at most people's Christmas tables.
A little bit.
There's so much. Yes, so much. So I think it's very timely.
Yeah. I like that you said the lights all work, because why do the lights never work?
The lights never work.
They never work.
And I think that they have an expiration date. Like 3 weeks after you take them down, they just like
I
self-detonate.
feel like it's like an iPhone where they like
just go
program
away.
it to start malfunctioning.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like that's how the lights
Exactly.
are.
You plug them in, you're like, why?
Ever.
Why aren't they working?
This show does sound more relatable, and I love that it's coming out at Christmas, and it's coming out, 2 episodes at a time for 3 weeks.
Yes.
So it really is a seasonal show.
Well, I think what Fox is trying to do here is to create an event series, which I think is a great idea for this family, in that, we'll take 6 episodes, and this is Christmas. And in the spring, we'll take 6 episodes, and there's a wedding. Or 6 episodes, and now it's Easter. Anytime that a family gathers for any reason, and all of the tensions and stresses, and what I love about this show in particular is that the kids, even though they're grown, the minute they step back in the house, they sort of revert to their 9, 10, 11-year-old selves, and the relationships they have with each other then, which, as a mother of 4 children, I can tell you happens.
See that?
It happens all the time. It's like someone will still bring up that, oh, well, you got the present that I wanted on Christmas when I was 9, and all that old stuff comes right back to the surface. So
I love the idea of taking it by holidays so
Yes.
much. And that's such a unique way to approach it. Does that change how you guys shoot it, or your experience on set? Are you shooting like more episodes quicker, or does it change anything for you? No.
Well, yeah. We just wrapped this maybe a month ago. So as we were shooting it, the leaves were changing, the snow was starting to fall. So it was definitely part of the whole experience that we were shooting it in the fall, heading into Thanksgiving. So
Yeah. And you, of course, were in Miracle on 34th Street.
yes, I was.
One movie that I watch pretty much every holiday season. Do you have a movie that you watch every holiday season?
Oh, I watch It's a Wonderful Life
Oh, classic.
every Christmas Eve without fail. That's the movie that I watch. It's so funny because my daughter hadn't actually seen Miracle on 34th Street until last year.
How is that possible?
Well, her longtime boyfriend finally said to her, well, my family watches Miracle on 34th Street. And she said, oh, I've never seen that. And he's like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
And because my husband was actually the director of photography on that movie, and it's the movie we met on, and I was never a parent who said, "Oh, let's sit down and watch Mom's movie." I just think that's really obnoxious.
Yeah, but it's like a classic.
So she said, "Mom, I liked the movie," and I said, "Well, good. I'm so glad." But this show is completely the opposite.
Yes.
Like this is literally a 180 from Miracle.
Which one is more you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, 100%. I was so thrilled that I finally got to work with Denis Leary because we're very similar.
Yes.
He's got a very caustic wit and he swears uncontrollably.
I love that authenticity. I saw the trailer for it, and your character's just pouring a very heavy
I'm just
glass
drunk.
of wine.
Yeah.
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 That was me at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I do have an understanding now of those families who every winter whisk away to like Jamaica, and they kind of bump the tradition, and they just like, it's not about the tradition, it's about family.
It's about family. And we're getting to that point. I'm sort of feeling so much consumerism right now, like just turning on the television, it's buy more presents, buy more things, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then everyone's like Giving Tuesday. And it's like, no. And we're trying to sort of pull away from that.
I think it's, what's the age of your children? Are they?
Our oldest is 30.
Okay.
And my
Yeah,
daughter's
so
28.
nobody needs presents.
No, they need presents.
Yeah,
No,
stop giving them
Once
presents.
they have children, they need to buy presents. But this sort of obsession with making sure everything is perfect and the wreath is hung and the tree is up and it's a lot of pressure.
And the cooking
The
for
cooking
like
and
20
the
people.
cleaning
And
so Anne Moody has just basically had it. She's
Yeah.
she's fed up.
I think I'm already Anne Moody.
I mean,
cannot
I
wait
am
to see the
definitely
show.
Anne Moody.
That's amazing.
And I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yes.
You turn on your TV and it's everyone's got these beautiful lives and the snow is falling and
all the Christmas
stockings were hung by the
movies.
chimney with care, and in reality it's like, where are the stockings? So I think that this is more what everyone's experience really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Spread that truth, all right?
Spreading it.
We do have a couple of questions before we get out of here. Who's first? Oh, right there.
Hi.
Hi.
So you've been involved with a lot of super fun productions in your career, and I was just wondering which was the most fun for you.
Well, this was amazing because it was Dennis and Jay and just like this great group of actors. I had a really good time making the Flintstones. I was Wilma Flintstone. And we shot for 72 days on the Universal lot, and everything was brand new. I mean, it was every single item was handmade, and Elizabeth Taylor played my mom. So that was a great experience. Wonderful time.
He mentioned you've had a list of really memorable roles.
Thank
What is the
you.
role that fans come up to you for the most often?
The movie Big.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it was, Tom is Tom, and he's so beloved, and the movie was so great. And, people always ask me about jumping on the trampoline, and I actually still have the dress. I do. I've actually put it on to see if it fits. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. But I actually still have my Wilma Flintstone leather toga.
They let you
as
keep
well.
that.
Yeah. Although somebody is trying to sell my Wilma Flintstone earrings on eBay for $3,000. What? I'm like, who stole my earrings? Who stole them and is selling them on eBay? Whoever you are, stop it. Donate them to charity.
Wait, have your kids seen Big or?
I'm sure they have, but I really always made a decision to not
do that, yeah.
To not show like we're gonna watch Mom's movie tonight. No. Something
I would-
wrong about
See,
that.
I'm totally sick.
You will
I'd be
sit
like,
there and you
watch
will
this.
watch me.
It's a great movie.
I'm like, no.
Who's next?
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering, what were your first thoughts when you were presented this role, and what did you do for preparing for it?
For this or for the Truth Be Told?
Truth be told.
Well, listen to podcasts. It was really, I'm not from the generation that sort of a podcast were always there. So that was a brand new experience for me, and in sort of understanding the way that works every week of just explaining more and taking it down this avenue and that avenue. But I think for this also, reading a lot about the industrial prison complex and mass incarceration and how many people are really in prisons for crimes they didn't commit. And abolishing the death penalty, and really got into understanding the way this works a lot more. It's a pretty dark place, Thank you.
I will say I've seen more art sort of tackling that issue of mass incarceration, and definitely more news. And I do feel like hopefully we're in a place where people are having conversations. And I think art has provided a real avenue for people to kind of explore the impact, this show included,
think so,
the impact it can have on these people and their families.
Absolutely.
So congrats on this show.
Thank you.
I know people are going to love it. And I love Apple.
Octavia's amazing.
She's amazing, but also love
She's
Apple TV Plus because they give you the 3 episodes out the gate. So you
Yeah,
get to just like
exactly.
binge it.
Exactly.
So you guys can do that. Truth Be Told premieres on December 6th on Apple TV Plus. Put your hands together for Elizabeth Perkins.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.